Hello there everybody, another day, another video. This one is just amazing because I'm going to suggest that did the Native Americans of North America flood their own cities in honor of Atlantis? Or did the old world zinc traders of the first and second millenniums BC bring back stories of sunken cities from America, and thanks to the American connection, did these become the stories of Atlantis themselves? So let's get into this. And I do hope I didn't scare anyone in the last video. Of course, I believe everything I say about ancient mysteries, totally. Now, let's get into this. The Lost Pyramids of Lost Lake. I am drawing on Frank Joseph's book. This is a lake in Wisconsin, about 100 years ago. This lake is very odd. It can suddenly clear and you can see to the bottom. At other times, it's always murky and cloudy. And actually, I think a lot of lakes are like that in around Michigan and that area. Except this lake seems to be artificial. This seems to be a bit of an oak island. He speculates that this lake was created by Native Americans to drown a city. They diverted a river, they put a canal into this lake, who knows? Or there was an earthquake or something and it filled with water. Because about 100 years ago, some pilots and some fishermen saw pyramids under the water. And this was confirmed by Indian legends. There are pyramids, there is a lost city there, and Frank Joseph describes it as essentially mounds that look like the Cahokia Mounds. And he went diving there for years and years and years. So let's get into what this actually means and for the Atlantis legend. He, of course, was looking for Atlantis. So that's Rock Lake. And it looks like a beautiful lake, typical of that area. Is it an artificial lake? Did they flood this lake? It seems they deconsecrated the pyramids by removing the capstones or something, and then they flooded the place. But why would they do that? Was it a sacrifice or something? And there are so many old world connections here, more old world connections than you can poke a stick at. For example, if we look at this Wikipedia article, it actually says that the area was called Tyrrenia. And people will recognize this as the Tyrrenians, the Tyre people. These are the Phoenicians. So this city apparently it was abandoned about the time of 1300 BC, and we know that because in Frank Joseph's book they actually did a study to show that the pyramids are located on a former lake shore, which was the shore in 1300 BC. So about the time the zinc trade stopped, and I am speculating this is what was in orichalcum. It was essentially zinc. When this trade stopped is when it sort of dates the city. And this is the thing, isn't it? Has this happened more than once? Is this a pattern? Because do you know the legend of Eldorado? There is a golden man. He sails out onto the water. They throw gold into the lake. And this legend spooked the Europeans so much, it got into their heads such that they couldn't stop looking for the damn place. And if you go onto Wikipedia and look this up, you will see map after map after map of places which they thought were the Lake of Eldorado. This is Humboldt. I love this sort of art, luministic style art. There's always an illumination going on. It's amazing. The Age of Enlightenment. Love these paintings. He went looking for it as well in Ecuador. That's Cahokia. Something like that is under Rock Lake. So I'm speculating that was under Lake Eldorado. It's responsible for the Eldorado legend. So people would have known there was a city under Lake Eldorado, and this is missing from the Eldorado legend. That's why they were throwing gold down there, because they deliberately flooded a city in honor of the legend of Atlantis, or because that lake simply filled up for some reason, and we don't know why. The Golden Man himself. This is Lake Guatavita, and this lake has been, I think it was someone attempted to drain the damn thing, and now it's a national park. You can't get close. But apparently that's a possible Eldorado right there. But there are more than one. And it just goes on and on and on. But it's linked to the old world. Now, we know in Britain, the ancient Ireland, there's a Beltane festival, which seems to celebrate Baal. So there is a Phoenician connection. And here, Bath, absolutely my favourite city in England. It is, when you're there, there's just such an ancient atmosphere about the place. It's amazing. I just can't describe it. But the city worships water. And one area I actually felt like the goddess was watching over me or something. It was the area where you throw coins into the water. And the name of the goddess is Minerva Sulis, or just Sulis, which is more the British name, Minerva being the Roman goddess. That's her. And there's just a presence there of this feminine energy. And here we have another thing. This is another place, Bradford-on-Avon, near Bath. This is I'm going to speculate in another video, which it deserves. This is actually a Roman temple, and they're saying it's the oldest Saxon church in England. No, it's a Roman temple. That's a Roman temple, and it's actually next to a river. Why would it be next to a river? Probably because it was a Roman temple for a water goddess. They didn't want to say that in the 19th century. And this is where it all comes down, doesn't it? Because instead of Eldorado sailing onto a lake, the Golden Man, you have another type of Golden Man, King Arthur, sailing onto the lake, getting or receiving this sword, which might have been made of gold back in the day, if he was Stone Age. He then, later when they don't need it, they throw the sword back into the lake. It's a recapitulation of the Eldorado legend, but it's in Britain. So it appears there is the same religion in ancient Britain as in ancient America. Does this date to the time of the zinc trade? I'm sure it was zinc that was being traded from Lake Superior, and this zinc found its way into orichalcum, the orichalcum legends, the stories of Atlantis. Stories of a city sunken beneath Lake Eldorado may have come back to the old world and were associated with a catastrophe legend of another sunken land. And this is how the whole American connection to Atlantis arose. Because these legends have to go somewhere. They don't just disappear. And that's not all. There's more to it than that. I made a video about a year ago.
19th century picture based on Herodotus' description of Lake Moeris in Egypt. And he basically said these pyramids were about 600 feet high, as tall below.
And these pyramids are in the middle of a lake. As if this lake, and by the way, Lake Moeris, another artificial Egyptian lake. It says so in Herodotus. They seem to have, the Egyptians themselves flooded a city, possibly in honor of it. They were honoring Atlantis, that when they didn't need a city anymore, they flooded it to somehow honor some ancient super catastrophe which wiped out everything on Earth. And I'm seeing this pattern again and again and again. I mean, what was was Excalibur itself some ancient super technology which could slay hundreds of men? I mean, was it even a sword? Who knows? Could that be a mistranslation? Is it ancient super technology that was recovered from a lake because it was recovered from a lost civilization? I think these questions need to be asked. Guys, I hope you've really enjoyed that video. It seems we have a worldwide religion on our hands from ancient times. They're all doing the same thing. I mean, what's going on? Join me in the next video. I'll try and get to that video on the part 2 on America, about those bizarre walls in America. Guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye.